bright future. Every student matters.
Now, based on the third topic of Unit 7, we are going to do the discussion over the very short question answers. The first one is, what is globalization? So, here we need to define the meaning of this term globalization. We can define it as the process of integration of world economies in the condition of free markets. Where we are talking about here, we are defining globalization as the process of integration of world's economies in the condition of free market, where we are taking the whole world as a free market, as a global village. The second, they have asked, what are called multinational or transitional corporations? So, we need to define the meaning of this MNCs. So, the large companies based in one country but operating in several other countries. So, how we can define it? Any of the single company like this MNC is there in India, but it is operating in the different other countries, like they have their manufacturing unit in China, they have their service center in Canada, and some other center or the another unit related to, or any other unit related to any other in any of the other country. So, here we can say that single country being operating in a single country, if it is connected with the different other countries, so that will be called as MNCs. So, MNCs are basically the large companies which are based in single countries but operating in different other countries. Question number 18, they have asked, what is meant by liberalization? So, we need to define the meaning of this term liberalization. We can mention that it is the process under which highly regulated economy is deregulated and decontrolled. So, that will be defined as liberalization. Question number 19, based on the same, they have asked, what does the slogan less state, better state mean in the context of liberalization? So, while we are talking about the liberalization, we have understood it is the process of deregulating or decontrolling the economy in particular country. So, here they are working on this less state and better state, where they are talking about reducing the control of public sector, basically the role of the government, and talking about increasing the role of the private companies, which according to them is going to be resulted in the better state. So, that principle we have to mention here. Now, based on the short question answers, question number 6, they have asked, discuss the positive impact of globalization. So, here we only have to mention the positive impact or outcome of the globalization. So, the different positive impact that we have discussed, we can mention here that it can lead to competition and efficiency, improved efficiency. Secondly, we can mention that it can lead to the flow of foreign investment in any of the country. Besides that, it increases the chances of employment and better opportunities. It can also lead to bring development in the status of the deprived groups when they are getting the opportunities or the better facilities with the setup of MNCs in their areas. And we can, as a last point, we can mention that globalization also helps in cooperation at the international level, where it could take or it could lead to the era of world peace. So, all these are the positive impact of the globalization we need to mention here. based on essay type questions, they have asked question number 7 here, discuss the positive and negative impacts of globalization. So here both the negative and the positive we have to discuss. Positive impact, if we talk about, we have already discussed in the previous question. So here little bit detail you have to give, you need to explain all the points here. If we talk about the negative impact of this globalization, you can mention that globalization led to inequalities between the rich and poor. Then it has increased disparities between the developed and the developing countries. Other than that, we can also mention that it has led to the reduction in the welfare of the citizens of the particular country. It also increased the exploitation of the developing countries by MNCs, mainly those who are the unit of developed countries. Somewhere it has led to the domination of the Western values and Western culture, where they are influencing the local culture of the community. And we have to also mention about that how the local industries are getting affected by these, and the local manufacturers are getting disadvantaged because of this globalization. So these all are going to be the part of your negative impact of globalization. Question number 8, they have asked, explain the implications of globalization. So here also, while we are talking about implication of globalization, all the points that we have discussed in the previous one will be considered here, and we need to give the headings to each and need to explain each and every point. Next, write a brief essay on liberalization. So while you are writing this answer, so firstly you need to mention the meaning of liberalization. After that you are going to mention that what is the basic idea, behind liberalization, where they are talking about the more involvement of the private companies and reducing the involvement or the control of government units. After that we have to mention the implication of liberalization, and both the impact we have to see, negative as well as the positive one. So in detail we have to give this answer. In question number 10, based on the same topic, they have asked, what is liberalization? Highlight the implication of liberalization. The same question we have already discussed. The meaning you are going to mention, in which you will define that liberalization is the process where the world economies are deregulated or decontrolled, and then you have to highlight the implications, that how it led to increase in the economic development and has brought the more competition and efficiency in the market. Increasing role of the private sector we can mention here, and leading to the decreasing role of government or the public sector will also be considered as the implication of liberalization here. And introduction of the sophisticated technology, how it has led to the problems for the women working in the unorganized sector. So all these points are going to be the part of this answer. Now the next question based on the high order thinking skills and PSA. They have asked, the world is increasingly moving towards a global village. How do we safeguard our culture and still blend comfortably in the global village? So they have mentioned that due to this globalization and liberalization, we know that world is increasingly becoming a global village. So how it is possible for us to safeguard our culture, how we can protect our culture and still blend comfortably in this global village, means without the problem we peacefully we could survive in this global village. So what are the things or the strategies are required to be adopted here? So for the safeguard of culture, we can mention the different points that we need to develop a national inventory of institution. So here we can need to develop national inventory of institutions which are concerned with the folklore, means the basic culture of that particular country or the particular area or state where these MNCs are setting up. Secondly, we can mention we need to create identification. We can talk about create identification and recording system, which could be kept safe for the next generation also, and which could help us to safeguard our culture, because whenever these globalization or liberalization we are talking about, definitely the influence of the Western values and cultures will be there, but amidst of that it is our responsibility to protect or safeguard our own culture and the values. Other than that, what can be done? We can create museums also. And beside that, we can encourage different fairs, exhibitions or the festivals, different fairs, exhibitions or the festivals presenting these natural encourage these fairs, exhibitions and different sort of festival for the safeguard of our culture. So these are some of the strategies or the measures could be adopted in this regard. So this was the discussion of the question answers based on the third topic of unit 7, that is globalization and liberalization.